Douglas coached after retiring from QEH because not being particularly bright at math, actually it's just one of the things he's not particularly bright at, he promised a group of grade 10s that he would see them through retiring. He didn't realize that took him a year further than his actual service was going to be required. Dow point guard Tim Maloney, who had first met Bob when he was in grade 4 during a Lions clinic, was one of these players. In a newspaper interview, he spoke for many of Bob's players when he likened Douglas to a surrogate father who was always interested in other things you're doing and always keeping an eye on your schoolwork as well. Douglas has not gone unrewarded during his career. He's twice received the Queen Elizabeth Silver E. As well, over the years, he's received the Jack McKenzie Memorial Plaque, the Merit Award from the National Association of Basketball Coaches of Canada, the Hugh Noble Award for contribution to NSSAF athletics, and the Basketball Nova Scotia Service Award. This past year, he received some interesting awards from opponents at Riverview High School and Cox Heath, Cape Breton, Charlottetown Rural, Cobequid Education Center, and Parkview Education Center. And perhaps his proudest achievement, because it came from those he most cares about, was this year's Queen Elizabeth High School 50th anniversary yearbook. The Elizabethan was dedicated to none other than the guy you see sitting up here. Ironically, the most rewarding turnaround a Bobby Douglas coach team ever had occurred last season as he hung up his whistle. His QEH basketball team didn't have the dominant players he'd had occasionally enjoyed in earlier seasons. In fact, they finished the season with very close to the same number of losses as wins. But just when Coach Douglas was saying to close friends that he felt as if he'd done the seniors a disservice by staying on for their final season, the underdog team came alive and forged their way through the playoffs to emerge incredibly as provincial champions. One thing the kids did learn is that real men really do cry, sometimes quite openly and sometimes quite happily. Said Coach Bobby Douglas many times, it couldn't have finished better if I'd written the script myself. His daughter Jane wasn't able to come from California, but his wife Libby is here. His daughters Leslie and Susan are here. Perhaps they'd like to stand. I know it's dark out there. If we could turn the lights up, I'd like at this time also to ask anybody out there who's played for or played with or coached with or reffed with our third inductee of the evening, would you please stand as well? Is there anybody else out there? Ladies and gentlemen, may I present to you a coach who somehow always found money for his single-parented and poorer kids to take trips with their teammates. A coach who for the last 5 decades has passed on his enthusiasm to thousands of kids. A man who's coached teams in more than 1,000 contests to more than 800 wins. A coach whose teams have won 16 high school provincial championships and 3 Canadian championships. A surrogate father, psychologist, ball boy, gopher, teacher, mentor, and passionate friend, a guy who's dedicated his professional life to making a community-minded adult out of every kid that went through his program, Coach Robert Chisholm Douglas.
Would ask Dr. Bill White to join us for the presentation, please. Let's move over toward the center of the stage, Coach. About the what? Old coaches never die, they just fade into the Hall of Fame. I have a letter here, says it all about Bobby Douglas. Dear Bob, congratulations on your induction to the Nova Scotia Sport Hall of Fame. No one is more deserving. As one of your former football players at QEA, QE, the lessons learned on and off the field are still with me today. You recognized and treated me first as a person, student, and then football player. You always reinforced the values of fair play, hard work, and stressed the notion that there will always be someone or something to test one's perseverance and commitment to purpose. Thank you for not only making me a better football player, but more importantly, a better person. I will always be proud to call you my friend. And tonight in Toronto, I will hoist a tall one in your honor. Sincerely, Jamie Bone. What is left to say?
Not too much, Pat. I'm just very, very honored tonight, and my family's here, and it's just been a wonderful career. It's been a big, big hoot with just a few tears in between.
Bobby, I talked to Jock, your brother, at dinner tonight, and he asked me not to call him up. Now, Jock is here from Florida, a pretty good hockey player.
Very good. He's in the Hockey Hall of Fame, the Sports Hall of Fame as well.
That is
He's
correct.
a member of the 1953 Halifax Atlantics.
Yeah. So I thought about that, and I said, no, Jock should be up here.
Yeah, let's get him up.
Jocko, come on up and pick up a little parcel on your way.
He's got the same walk as Bobby Douglas. Doesn't he? Look at that.
I think that Jock is going to bring over the contents of that box, Jock, over there. If you just open that up, and I don't think anything could be more appropriate for the great coach. Like Christmas, isn't it?
Yes. Oh, good.
The Golden Basketball, ladies and gentlemen. Presented to Bob Douglas, Hall of Fame, October 6th, 1994. Jock,
It's from his cousin Vinny in Virginia.
Cousin Vinny in Virginia. Hey, how about, want to make that presentation?
Thank you very much. Thank you.
So many teams, so many events, so many wins, so many athletes. Any one particular year, event, or individual that stands out?
No, if I mentioned one particular one, the other people would be all upset. The testimony really to be in athletics are the people that are here tonight, and you know, the wonderful friends you meet. And this is really the greatest aspect of coaching, is the fact that you know so many people over so many generations, and it's just a wonderful thrill. You don't realize the hard work, you know, when it's all over, to realize that it's been such a wonderful time, and it meant so much to the kids. And they're not kids anymore; they're grown-ups, and it's just wonderful. And I got a suite 239, 240. Anybody wants to come, they're welcome.
Bobby, he's much too young to retire. There's a role to be played. Let's hear it for Bobby Douglas.